Got my brake lines in place. This is my rear bias proportioning valve, so I can adjust the rear brake bias. There's a couple of distribution blocks down there, and I routed the brake line along that front piece there. There's some rubber protectors that it goes through as it goes along the frame there behind the engine mounts. And that is my downpipe for the intake. You can kind of see there that the intake is on, connected to the turbo, and they've got the mass airflow sensor in there. But puttering along, working on it. So these are the rear coilover mounts. These are from AccuTune Off-Road. I cut the old shock mount out, and they're just tacked in right now. I still have the actual welding to do, just a couple tacks, but took off the body mounts that were here, all the little exhaust hangers and stuff. So once I get these welded in place, and there's enough room for a fuel cell in between here, and then this will be extended 20 inches, so there'll be 2 more fuel cells back here, for a total of 45 gallons worth of fuel. I'm going to be cutting this in half and extending this back. So the idea is roughly that this rear wheel will be halfway in the center of the box. So it's about 4 feet from that to that, so I need to go about 4 feet here. So that's what I'm working on right now. Still have to finish welding in place, and then I got to repaint the whole back of the frame here. For right now, I'm going to leave the coil springs in place, but these coil bucket mounts will go away as well. I have to get the coilovers and springs in place and all that, and then remove those. You can also see a little bit better how I welded the rear bumper mounts to the frame. Alright, so they're welded in place now, and now I'm going to go ahead and make the cut and go get the piece of steel to make the frame longer. I'm going to cut the frame somewhere in this range here, as much as I can for the first part to slide in. The second part can be as narrow as this, because this will just be like a sleeve on the rear section of frame. So I'll cut it off basically right at the edge of this bracket here, and this piece will just be extended out to here. Yep, I still have a couple of small pieces to weld underneath there on the inside, but I'll do that while I've got the thing taken apart, and I can get at it a lot easier. Alright, well, that's the back of the frame cut off. I chopped it off. As you can see, I cut right into the channel and cut it out. And back here, I now have a very long back section of frame. The idea is, it's kind of hard to get in one shot, but the idea is that the back section and this section will be the same length, so the wheel will be right in the center. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. The welds are really nice. Turned out good. And interestingly, having this coilover mount on the back made it just perfect, because I could come back and butt this piece right up against the coilover mount, and that allowed me to fill this about 3/16 of an inch gap here, because the 4x3 inch tubular steel piece is just a little bit wider than this. It fits perfectly on the 4-inch side in here. You can see how nicely it fits in there, but it was a little too wide, so it worked out really well. Quite happy with that. This is the beginning of my mount for my fuel cell. The front fuel cell will be right there, and then I'll have 2 more right here. So yeah, Very nice. Very happy with how that turned out. This is not welded. It's going to be bolted up on the other side of this L, bolted into the frame here. It's just clamped on for now. It's made out of like 1.5 by 1.5 light gauge angle steel. And of course I'll have to put some probably honeycomb composite around it on the bottom and stuff to protect the fuel tank, since it's just light aluminum. But yep, next thing to do is to take that rear bumper and inset it right here. So I'm going to basically cut out here and inset just like it was into the old piece of frame. It'll pretty much be to the end here, although I might have to end up coming back about 1 inch. I'm not sure till I get the rest of the fuel cell frame built. I won't know. Yep, pretty happy with that. Didn't get as much done this week as I hoped to, but what I did get done, I got done well, so that's good.